Hello everyone, it is Deafening Silence here with another video. Gonna try to get back on track with a consistent schedule, and it is another action figure video. So I noticed the action figure unboxing video that I did has been starting to get a little bit of attention, and some people liked it. Well, I happened to get in a big order from Big Bad Toy Store, and Marvel decided to do a symbiote wave, as well as release a special figure by itself. And I saw these and I had to get it. So we're going to take a look at these guys. We're going to open all of them up and we're going to look at them in close detail. I'm going to give my opinion on what my favorite one is, and we even get to build a figure, and I'll explain that more here in a second. But first, let's show what we're going to be opening up. First off, the big boy. Marvel's Toxin. Toxin, for people who don't know, is the 1000th symbiote, as it says here, in a lineage that includes Carnage and Venom. Toxin is feared by many to be the strongest and most dangerous. And when I saw this, I and my wife agreed this was pretty much a must-buy. Now for the Venom wave itself, who else but Venom? Of course, this is the movie version that came out, was that last year already? Crazy. But yeah, they finally released a movie version of him, which I think is cool considering it's Marvel Legends and Venom was a Sony movie, but they still went ahead and did it. Move the box out of the way for space here. Next in the Venom wave we have Ghost Spider, which I thought it was commonly agreed that her name was Gwenom, because it's Gwen Stacy and Venom, so Gwenom. I thought that's what it was. And the main reason for me getting this set was because I needed Carnage for my collection. I did not have Carnage yet, and I'd been looking to get him, and it just so coincidentally happened that Marvel said they were going to do this Venom wave, which included Carnage, which has his traditional head, if you can see that, and then the new head, which is like his new face is like he's like got a cult or something in the comics now, I think. I don't know if we'll get these all on camera here for one shot, but we'll see. This is pretty cool. They did a figure of Morbius, the living vampire. Of course, he got his notoriety, as well as I think his first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man, one of the earlier issues of Amazing Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken. Early for us anyway. Venomized Miles Morales. I don't actually own a Miles figure yet. I have very mixed feelings on Miles Morales and why they brought him into Marvel and why they made him Spider-Man, but this is cool. And then, lastly, what may be my favorite, although I have not seen how you actually pronounce the name. Is it Phage or Phage? Yes. He looks awesome. He's got like a weapon arm. Yeah, he's very cool. He's not made a lot of appearances. He's not in a video game, I believe, or anything like that, so I've never heard his name pronounced. I don't know. But yeah, he's the last one. And booyah. So we're going to open these guys up. We're going to take a look at them in close detail. I'm going to give my opinions, and we're going to build the Deadpool symbiote that is combined with all these individual pieces in these different boxes. And we'll see what he looks like. So be back in a second. Okay, so we will start with Toxin, since he was the first thing that I had seen that I wanted. Okay, if I can quietly take this plastic off. There he is, in all his massive glory. Take him out. Take the pieces out. Got one more bit of plastic here. And like so. So first we have to attach the back. It's such a massive figure, they had to do it like this. They had to do the same thing with the Venom figure that they released earlier this year, which I also have. Am I doing that right? Probably gonna. There we go. He's basically the Venom body. If anyone has this, that figure, it's basically, as I get the joints loose here, the Venom body, but with, you know, a different paint scheme. Okay, so to skip a bunch of time because it was getting the setup, this is kind of the up close of the head. Looks pretty cool. The paint's pretty cool, I think. It's got a nice sort of two-tone paint of this going into the black, and all these tendrils, which I don't know if I cut it out or not because I was having a hard time with it, but it's 4 pieces and they all connect in together on the back here to make this, and they have letters corresponding with them to help you figure it out. And that's him. I think I have the main one connected to his back here positioned wrong, because I think it's supposed to be more in the front, or coming towards the front, like so. But I will figure that out later, because I got to get this all figured out right so I can set it up on my display properly. But it's basically Venom, as I said, from the earlier release this year. It's got an ankle swivel, it's got leg swivels and some functionality. This admittedly might be a little bit flimsy considering how heavy he is. If you're wanting to stand him upright, the weight of these things might cause him to fall over. Hopefully not. If you get him, he looks awesome though. But one thing that I would have liked with these big releases, like with Venom and him, is different hands, maybe like some punching hands, for some cool fighting poses on your display, or if you do any kind of figure photography. But if you're trying to do like some sort of cool battle display thing on your shelf or whatever, or TV console like where I have a bunch of mine, some punching hands would be nice. Though he does have these hands which you can put a smaller figure into, so it can look like he's yeeting somebody, throwing him across the room. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. So let's move on to the next figure. Okay, so we'll start off on the Venom series with Ghost Spider, aka Gwenom. Okay, so removing the plastic, we've got these 2 pieces. This is part of the Venom Deadpool Build-A-Figure set, which we will figure all that out later, how it connects. Unfortunately, Gwenom here doesn't come with like any accessories or different hands, though she doesn't really need any accessories or different hands for that matter. She doesn't need web swinging hands because Venom doesn't need web shooters, you know, or anything like that. He uses his tendrils to quote-unquote web swing around the city, which it looks like that's what this is here. It's just his super elongated tongue. And of course, for people who don't know, who haven't been in the know on the comics, but Gwen Stacy was brought back and web swings around the city doing stuff. Of course, you probably saw the Spider-Verse movie last year that was such a hit. They've released a Gwen Stacy figure before. They did much better with the hood on this one. The hood on the other one's not very good. Looking at this in closer detail, this looks sick. Although it's a little bit off center. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I don't know if you can see it well, but it's off center a little bit. But the different little intricate designs that are on like the arms and stuff, like this down here on the feet, it's really cool. This is a little bit in the way. It is unfortunately very flimsy, so you will not be able to do like any sort of outstretching with it, like it's her flying through the city or something. Like on my display, for example, I've got several Spider-Man, and they're all like shooting out a web or, you know, in the middle of an action pose or something. And unfortunately, this is not very strong material, so it won't do it well. But it looks good. To me, it's painted good. The design's really cool. The design of the character is really cool. I just wish that tongue thing that Venom's got going on was a little bit more useful. But again, this looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. I love the hood. The hood looks amazing. Alright, the catalyst for this whole, sorry for the glare there, but the catalyst for this whole thing, me getting this whole thing, which is Carnage. Let's open him up and see what he's like. Okay, so I had to edit out a lot of loud plastic sounds, but this is Venom, or Carnage from the Venom line. I'm just showing the little intricate things here. This little pattern. It's painted well. This is these little, I don't know what you call them, veins or so. They're I don't know if you can hear that, but they're not painted. They're attached on. And this is the like Carnage Colt's sort of head. But if you're like me and wanted the classic Carnage head, this is how easy or difficult it can be to get the head off. It's a fairly big peg, so it's not hard to take off, but it can be kind of difficult to get on. It made a loud pop. I had to take it off camera. This thing was kind of tricky to do from my angle, but and then there is the, boy, this thing is not liking me right now. This is the Venom-Pool head that's going to go on our guy later. And then there's a back plate which attaches so you can have the tendrils coming up behind him. He looks pretty awesome. The only thing I'm disappointed in is so like where Phage, which is I looked it up off camera. Google pronounces it Phage, and then there's a it's something called bacteriophage, and it's a bacteria, and they pronounce it like that. So I'm going with Phage until I hear otherwise. But Phage, he comes with like a symbiote arm forming into a weapon, which other Carnages released have had that. This one does not. I wish he came with like a weapon or something, because that's really cool. And I bet you eventually there's going to be some people out there looking to capitalize that will make weapons that Carnage can either hold or whatever. But this dude does look awesome. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's really well painted, I think, or sculpted, whatever this is. He's going to look really cool on my display. I'm eventually going to do like Spider-Man fighting all of his villains, and I've got several of them piled up. But yeah, that's Carnage. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, speaking of Phage, here he is. Let's get this bad boy open. Alrighty, here is Phage. Very similar to Carnage. In doing some research for this guy, because I've never seen him before, I do not own the comic that he's from. His first appearance was in Venom Lethal Protector #4, which I have some of the Lethal Protector series, but I do not have that particular one. I bet you guys didn't know that symbiotes actually have a race name, and they're called Clintar. They listed his color as orange, but this to me almost, I am partially colorblind, but I mean this almost looks like gold to me or something. It's not like a warm color like orange typically can be, but he comes with the 2 legs needed for Venom-Pool, which is I'm just going to call that for short, or Dead Venom, whatever. This little thing here is the arm. I don't know where that goes necessarily, or how it goes on, but let's see. This, I assume, is going to be, so it has a little peg insert there based on, let's see, what do y'all think? Do you think it should be right or left? I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter, but it has to go on. Let's see here. It's weird, like with these pegs and stuff, you have to be rough but gentle. So that is it, basically. It almost looks like it's backwards, but I don't see a way for you to position it differently. But Marvel Legend figures all kind of have the same basic articulation, so there's not much to talk about. It does have this little leg swivel here, and these swivels, so I get it loose. And I like his design a lot. I like his design. It's very similar to another symbiote, and it's a female. I can't remember her name. I thought it was Toxin, actually. But a Scream. That's what it is, Scream. It's Scream. Very, very similar, but he looks awesome. I love his design. I love the weaponry thing. I just wish it was, maybe that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know. I'm a figure noob. I'm not really good at positioning these guys. But yeah, he looks awesome. And he's also kind of got like the classic alien thing with the extended mouth, as you can see. But yeah, these dudes duking it out. That's pretty awesome. Let's move on to the next figure. Alright, next up will be Venomized Miles Morales. Okay, just having to get the plastic out. I'm gonna assume, like I said, not having read in a while, that a lot of these Venomized characters came from like the Enter the Venomverse comic storyline that they did a while back. I think that had just came out after I had stopped really reading comics altogether. But yes, this is Venomized Miles Morales. Come on, focus for me. And he is, since he's supposed to be a kid, you will notice he is smaller. Yeah, you will notice that he is smaller. But and they've made some. They have made a regular Miles Morales Marvel Legends figure before. Trust me, they have. This dude looks cool. I love the spider logo, spider Venom logo, I guess technically. It looks amazing on the back too, if I can get that to show up well. And then the face. This would be a great like Halloween costume if you come up with it. Paint's a little glossy on it. I don't know if that's something that people would care for or not, but he is a little bit easier and more flexible to pose than some of those others, but his feet have kind of a cool, like, clawed texture to them in paint. And yeah. And before I forget, what he comes with is like one of the arms and one of the fists. So yeah, most of these guys don't come with like accessories, any webbing or anything like that, which I guess is fine. Most people maybe won't care, but what does look bad is that peg is very noticeable. You know, you're not going to really notice it because you're going to have it facing forward, but some serious collectors won't like that as much. But yeah, he looks awesome overall, I think, as far as design wise. Anyway, last figure of the Build-A-Figure part, and then we will look at Venom. Alright, we got one of Morbius, the living vampire. I don't know if they've done one before, but I know I haven't seen it online when looking at figures of like the Spider-Verse overall, Spider-Man universe, and looking for either him or his villains. Alright, opening him up, he comes with the other Venom-Pool arm and other fist. So that'll be all of the pieces needed to assemble him. And then looking at Morbius himself, let's see, he comes with this little cape thing. If I can get it to attach, it's not wanting to. Alright, so I'm going to have to dock Hasbro major points on this. The cape, so it may be hard to notice, especially since my camera's not one to autofocus, but this is a 6-sided pentagonal. The cape is cylindrical, so it's not wanting to stay in. And it looks cool. So if it's something that you really like and you want on him, you may have to super glue it, which will keep it in permanently. But other than that, he's got, at a first glance, he's I don't know. He's the weakest one of the set. Let's put it that way. I wanted to like him because Morbius, and I kind of like vampires, but in the box he looks cool, but once you take him out and look at him, his uniform's kind of basic. These arms look kind of janky, especially that right there. That looks, he's got like a tumor growing underneath. If I'm not mistaken, I know Anthony Customs, he talks a lot about like the Build-A-Bucky, or not Build-A-Bucky, but the Bucky body that they use for a lot of figures. I think this may be one with a couple extra pieces. The face looks cool, but the hair looks kind of derpy from back here. I don't know that he's going to go on the shelf, honestly. I got the set because I wanted to build, Venom Deadpool. And I'm still fidgeting with this cape, trying to get it on, but it definitely doesn't go like that, It fits better upside down than it does right that side. Okay, it's kind of holding there. Might be a little bit tricky to do some poses and stuff, but I don't know, if I'm doing like a big battle with like Spider-Man villains and then all the different Spider-Man, I might put them up there, but I don't know. I think all the other like Venom characters and stuff, they definitely spent more time designing those and putting them together than this guy, but at least there's a Morbius out there. And last up, one that maybe a lot of people were excited to see. I know I was, because I liked the movie. Maybe a lot of people didn't, but I did. I thought it had some character and some vibe to it, and I'm going to be in the minority here, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies were too cliche and a little bit too safe. This Venom movie, it took chances. It had character to it. And Venom himself I thought was pretty awesome, and I thought Tom Hardy did a great job as Eddie Brock, and he really showcased well the fact that he's sick, that he's, this is killing his body, and he looks like it throughout the film. He never looks okay. That's the point. This guy, well, let's open him up and see what he looks like up close. Right, taking him out. It's going to be kind of hard to get him in one frame because he's tall, because he's kind of tall for reference as far as size. Let me just get my buddy Phage here that I'm really taking a digging to with his arm falling off. So yeah, this Venom is a bit bigger compared to Toxin, the big boy. He's actually, it looks like a little bit taller. So that's cool because Venom is meant to be a big dude. He's always been, outside the early Todd McFarlane like first appearance stuff, Venom's been a big guy. It's to make him opposing and make Spider-Man have a real villain to deal with. Accessories, he comes with this kind of smiling head. It's more traditional alien style head, I guess you'd say. And then this dude actually comes with 2 fists. I think maybe they heard people saying they would like options. It's got a little bit of the like vein paint on it. And then kind of up close, a big old tongue for eating brains better. He's very shiny on the paint, which is good. Venom has a lot of highlights. It helps because he's dark, so it looks better on cameras and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is a new body, so it's unique. He's a little bit more lean. He's not like big and bad and bulky. I think this may be a new chest piece too. It's a little bit more sturdy, so it's not weak. Got the vein paint in there. It looks okay. And yeah, he's a big boy. He does not have any ankle swivels up here, but his leg swivels, I should say, but his feet themselves, it's not wanting to go forward well. Hopefully you can position him okay. He does not have any bottom feet pegs to put him, to stand him upright like these do. So hopefully you'll be able to get a good balance. That's something I should mention. All those other smaller figures that I showed, they do have the little inserts to put them on stands and such. This guy does not. So you may have to get like a stand that actually holds him in place, with like a grip, like a claw. But I like the look of him. It's very faithful to the movie. And real quick, I'll show everybody in unison, let you get an idea of which is your favorite. So yeah, that is the Venom wave that they just released. And then of course my buddy Toxin here. You seen this crap? Yeah, I see it. But we're not done. We've got to build Venom-Pool. Okay, so something that Marvel likes to do is these build-a-figure waves. And this is basically how they release their figures anymore, outside of some special. What it is, as you saw, we had 6 figures. One of them is usually like some sort of special thing on its own, like the Venom figure was. The other 5 or 6 figures in the set will have one piece, or a couple of pieces. But basically what has to happen is you have to buy all of them in order to assemble one complete figure. Usually the figure is massive compared to others. It might be a special figure. The biggest example that everyone likes is the Fin Fang Foom that came out years ago. And people are selling the fully assembled version of that for hundreds of dollars. The Venom that came out earlier in the year that looks similar to our boy Toxin, originally was a build-a-figure, and it had like the Thunderbolts Venom design on it, and then they just like, okay, we're going to release the classic Eddie Brock Venom. So yeah, now that we've got all the pieces here, this is actually going to be my first time fully assembling one of these. I've gotten like 3 or 4 pieces of another set, but never fully finished. I was pretty excited to get this guy because admittedly I'm a sucker for Venom stuff. I know people get tired of the constant Venom or Deadpool releases, but I'm kind of a hypocrite myself in that I understand, but I still get them. So yeah, all the pieces just assembled together. And I don't know if I can get this guy all in one frame. We'll see. And there we are. This guy is a hoss. He is big. Compare him to Carnage, the other red symbiote. He's pretty big. The swords can either go... Let's see. Do they attach to that little piece there? I don't know, it's not really wanting to. It's not really wanting to. It looks like that little insert is meant to go right there, but it's not wanting to. At any rate, though, a lot of people will probably take the swords, which do come out, and put them into the gripping hands, which is what I'll probably do here in a second. Okay, it took a lot of fidgeting off camera, but we got the swords on. The problem is whenever you take the hands off these little gauntlets, I don't know what you call them, but they come off too. So you have to be careful getting them in. The arms don't really want to go in. But there's our buddy. Massive. I'll figure out this off camera. And yeah, we got a lot of big boys here. Got a mess. The Battle of the Reds, I guess. The Battle of the Reds. So, I think that is going to do it for this video. There was a lot to show off here. As far as design, I like a lot of these. The only one that I had some issues with really was Morbius for a couple of different reasons. But I'm probably going to have to stick with saying the new guy on the block for me, Phage. I'm going to have to say probably for right now, he's my favorite. As I get these guys set up and take a look at them more, I might change my opinion. But, and I also really liked the movie Venom. So, and then Miles and Gwenom and Morbius are off screen. But I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts are. Did you like this series, this wave? Some people are thinking it's the coolest wave that Marvel has released on figures. It's the one that I liked the most of, I can say that. A couple of the X-Men series had some good ones. But, yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Getting everybody in shot here. Maybe sometime down the road I'll take some pictures of my figure display once this is set up and show it off. And I got some figure videos I need to do with my collection, just showing off like what's my favorite. But that's going to do it for now. Thank you for anyone who's stuck this far and watched. I'm over 100 subscribers now. Thank you all for that. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, every like, every comment. I enjoy talking with people in the comments about this stuff. And you know, this may not be super ASMR-ish, but hopefully it's a relaxing figure review for you all the same. And that's going to do it for now. Until next time, Deafening Silence out. Take care.